Shalom, Israel. This is just another message of daily edification brought to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All praises due, peace and salutations to you out there. 144, the elect, and the 1/3. All right. Today, want to go into just a short, I ain't gonna say short, but an extensive study on judgment. All right. What it is and what it really means, because when you talk about the word judge or judge someone or something like that, the church house, the won't-he do it's got that all twisted up, man. You know, like somebody will come in, toe back, smelling like alcohol, stumbling and falling over. You say, man, you are alcoholic. You are drunk. Don't you judge me. Only God can judge me. No, nigga. You drunk. It ain't nothing else to it. And you can't stop yourself. If you always drunk and falling out, or you giving over to alcohol or whatever it is, I don't give a fuck. Weed, lying, you're a liar. Okay? If you got a bad temper all the time, you a hothead. Okay? That's what it is. There's no judgment there. It's the truth. Now, judgment comes when you have no proof of what you say. All right. Now, let's go to Matthew chapter 7. All right. And it says, starting at verse 1, judge not that ye be not judged. All right. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. All right. Now, let's go to St. John chapter 7, verse 24. And it says, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Sounds contradictory, right? No, it's not. See, we could judge someone on what it looked like, and then we can judge someone according to the facts. If every day I see you fucked up, eyes red, stumbling, losing your job, all right, you can't put that bottle down, you're a fucking alcoholic, man. That's just the bottom line. I ain't judging you. I'm stating a fact. That's righteous judgment. I'm pronouncing something with facts. All right? Not fucking opinions. Now, let's go to I told y'all, you got to be wordsmiths, right? Etam Online, I hope y'all downloaded it. All right? We're going to go to the word judge. And that's what it says. It says to examine, appraise, make a diagnosis, to form an opinion about, inflict penalty upon, to punish, to try someone, and pronounce a sentence. All right? Also intransitive, make a decision, to decide, to think, to suppose. All right? To judge, to pronounce judgment, pass an opinion. All right? An opinion is a thought about someone without fact. Okay? To judge, to pronounce judgment, to pass an opinion. All right? To judge, to examine officially, to form an opinion upon. All right? That's what it means to judge someone. Now, let's see what the scripture has to say about judgment. All right. This is the Gospel of St. James. It says, speak not evil one of another, brethren. It go for you sisters too, you Akwaf. Y'all listening too. I know y'all nosy. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. Now, let's go to the brothers first and foremost. We're not to form opinions on one another because of what the fuck we think. All right? Let me get to that in a minute. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. And it ain't talking about the law of Moses. It's talking about the law of liberty. How we know? Because under the law of Moses, they always trying to do the same thing. All right? When you're talking about the law of liberty, this is how you become a judger of the law. I like bacon on my burger. You don't. Guess what? We're not doing the same thing now. That's the law of liberty. I'm free to eat some bacon on my burger if I want to. If I want to eat bacon on my burger, you don't have a goddamn thing to say about it. And if you don't want bacon, hey, more for me, right? You don't like bacon, I do. Okay? That's what it is. So, if you want to judge me on that, now you are a judger of the law of liberty because you are trying to take my liberty away from me. All right? Now, that's what it's saying. This is why you law keepers, once again, all right, making it plain, this is why the law of Moses is done. All right? James chapter 5, verse 9. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. All right? Got a question. Who the fuck are you, man? Who the fuck are you to tell somebody what they can and can't do? Let's go to Romans chapter 14. All right? Romans chapter 14. All right. Now, we're going to go to verse 7. It says, for none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. All right? You walk too. Y'all nosy ones out there. Verse 8. For whether we live unto the Lord. Whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord's. We belong to him. We don't belong to each other. I don't belong to you. You don't belong to me. All right? Verse 9. For to this end Hamashiach both died and rose and revived, that he might be Lord both of the dead and the living. The Father's only the God of the dead. He's a father, Salak. He's the God of the living, not the God of the dead. All right? He's only power to the living. All right? That's why he divorces. We were dead. He doesn't deal with dead things because he's not a part of that. Yahweh Shai is the one. His son is the one who is both the Lord of the dead and the living. Not just the living. Yahweh is the God of the living. All right? Verse 10. But why dost thou judge thy brother? Or why dost thou set at naught thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Hamashiach. This is why we can't judge each other. Because when we do, now he's going to start looking at you. All right? For it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to the powers. All right? Verse 12. So then, every one of us shall give account of himself to the powers. We going to all give an account. You already have. This is why the law keepers, they got it twisted, man. All of this is scripture. But we can't have that amongst ourselves claiming to be of the law of liberty. Because when you have the law, if you claim to be in the law of liberty, but then start judging your brother or your sister, especially on appearance, on something you don't know, now you have become a judger of the law. And then the judge is standing at the door for you. You're going to get judged. You're going to get judged with the same measure because you will put yourself back under the law of Moses, being judgmental. And guess what? That makes you a Pharisee. And you know what's going to happen to them. All right? Verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way or his sister's way. Her sister's way. You Akwath. Y'all, this go for y'all too. Look what it says in verse 14. I know and am persuaded by the Lord Yahushua that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. It's up to you. Let me boil this down. We're free to eat what we want. We are free to worship how we want, as long as it's in spirit and in truth. All right? Let me get a precept for that. This is a lot. This is John 7:38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. We have to believe on Yahushua, as the scriptures say. That's all we got to do. All right? That's all we got to do. Let me tell y'all something. Let's go to book of Mark. Matthew. Let's go to Matthew chapter 13. Starting at verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then has it tares? He said unto them, An enemy had done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles, and burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. See, so this right here that we're in, this is the harvest coming up. It ain't gonna be nothing after this. So the tares right now are being separated from the wheat. You're going to be separated by your actions, by what you do. All right? You're going to be separated and made manifest. You're going to be separated and made manifest by your actions. Let me get a precept for that. This is this is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 18. It says, For first of all, when you come together in the church, I hear that there be divisions among you, and I partly believe it. See, any group that you have, you're going to have divisions. I don't care how tight you try to keep it. Look at verse 19. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. All right? So, when we come together, because, like I say, we're not going to always be behind this screen. We're not going to always be behind the screen on this, or your cell phone, or your computer, or your tablet. There's going to come a time when we are physically in each other's company. So how are we going to treat each other? We're going to treat each other suspect. All right. Any one of us could be, a tear. If it's up to us to examine ourselves to make sure that we are in the faith. It's not my job. All I can do is give you what little I got. That's it. Now, if you get this and you use it the way the Most High gives it to me, and then I give it to you, and you examine yourself, and you're living by what He says, then you're in the faith. You're not a tear. But if you can hear something and know it's right and buck up against it, then hey, you be the judge. Are you really in the faith? Now, let's go back to Matthew chapter 13. All right. And he says, starting at verse 24, he said, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. Now, the seed is the word. But while a man slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. When the blade was sprung up, all right, when they start to grow and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So now, not only, this can be taken in a couple of different ways. Tell you why. Some of us get judged. Okay, you look on, if you look on our comment board, all right, we got people from everywhere, y'all. I've talked to people that live in Kenya, talked to people that live in London, England. I've talked to people that, we got some Boricuas out there, Puerto Rico, the Netherlands. We got Brazil. We got New York. We got Florida. We got, man, all over this place, man, like Yahushua said, until the gospel is preached to the four corners of the earth, guess what? It's happening now. So we got different cultures. We got different ways of doing things, we have different, just here in the United States, if you go from the east to the west, everybody don't talk like me. Shit, on the other side of other country, man, they laugh like hell at me because sometimes they got to try to decipher what I'm talking about. So I try to break it down where everybody can get it. But look, man, I'm from Cali, man. I mean, out here, everybody can understand what I'm saying, but it's not like that everywhere. So I could say something, and if I put that down, slang on it, they ain't going to get it. So I got to kind of remember that. But I'm speaking this truth. That's it. So what happens when we come together? What happens? Will we respect each other's differences, or will we use that as a way to try to make somebody suspect? All right? We can't do that. There's been different upbringings. There's been different cultures, all right? Different ways of life, different practices, all right? Like here, where I'm from, we got some households, man, they grew up with a mom and dad in the house and everything was loving. And we got some of us that grew up, man, in a foster home. Some of us that grew up in a family of gangbangers, or a family of drug dealers. There's many different aspects of life, and we've all come from those many different roads to this one power, man. All right? We got some that look like they Israel and they not. All right? And we got some that look like they from another nation and they Israel. We got some on here, man, white as snow. I've seen them. But guess what? They give it up. They say, all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Okay? So I'm telling you, let's go back to what the scriptures say right here. This is, let me get it. This is John chapter 7, verse 24. It says, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. You got to judge by the facts. All right? And you got to be careful with that. Now, we're really not supposed to judge one another and put a stumbling block in each other's way. All right? I had some so-called Israelites. You know, I don't really converse with too many Israelites, especially these law keepers, you know. The number one scoffer we had, I see him all the time going through the comment boards, looking at people. Our secretary, Brother Kafar, Shalom, you know, we laugh about this shit. I talk to our secretary almost every day. He get on him for being light-skinned. Told him he ain't Israel. Man, fuck you. You ain't Israel, Urkel. All right? You can't judge nobody on that. We already fucked you to the finish anyway. So you have no grounds. You know, he's picked out some of the ox and aquath on here by the way they look. Oh, well, you're not this or you're a heathen. Nigga, you a heathen. And anybody that could call on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man, let me get a precept. Let's go to Romans chapter 8, verse 16. And this goes for all of y'all out there, all right? I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. Romans chapter 8, verse 16. It's what it says. You know what? Let's kick it up to 14. Romans 8 and 14. For as many as are led by the spirit of the power, they are sons of the power. You aquaf too. This is all inclusive, all right? If you're led by the spirit of the powers, you are a son or a daughter of the power. I don't give a fuck what you look like. If you could call on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and know that Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man according to these standards right here, if you can admit that and you know that in your heart and you believe it, then you're being led because you're going against the status quo. Look at somebody that might look, you know, Asian, like a Moabite or an Ammonite or even a white person, and they can call on the name of Yahweh Shai and say he's a black. Try to find 3 white people or Asians, so quote unquote is what they call them. Try to find 2 or 3 of them to say the same thing that one Asian looking person or that one white person is saying. Try to find 2 or 3 in that day and see how you come up with. That person is exceptional if they can do that, because that means they got to go against everybody that looks like them to say what's right. They're being led by the Spirit. You have to be led by the Spirit to do that, man. Romans 8 and 14. As many as are led by the Spirit of the power, they are sons or daughters of the power. All right? Verse 15. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. If you can say that Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man, you know, and black is a color, but we know that's his description. If you can look like another race and worship somebody that doesn't look like you, then you got the spirit of adoption. That means that no matter what you look like, the Most High put an Israelite spirit in somebody that looked like another nation. That's a confusion of face. And then that's how you cry, Abba, Father. Abba. You know Abba spelled the same front and back? That's how we know it's talking about the Father. Abba, Father. All right? Verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. What spirit is that? That's the Spirit of the Father bears witness with the Spirit in you, that you are children of the power. You belong to him. All right? Let me get a precept. This is St. John chapter 6, verse 44. He said, no man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. So, if you've been raised up, drawn to the Father through Yahweh Shai, you belong to him. I don't give a damn if you look like Bob Hope. All right? And don't let nobody tell you different. Nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody can tell you what your position is with the Most High. That means somebody's judging you. You can't do that. And that's a grave sin in the Most High, because now you're telling the Most High who he can call to him. He can call whoever he wants. All right, let's go to Acts chapter 10, verse 34. Acts chapter 10, verse 34. And he said, then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth, I perceive that the power is no respecter of persons, but in every nation, he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted of him. All right. Now, this is what the church house, the won't he do is try to use to bring in entire nations of other people. No, that's not what it's talking about. All right. For the most part, yes, Judites look like a nigga, like me. Northern Kingdom, they got their own look. All right. It's just not kind of exemplified through the scriptures because they were dispersed early on before we were. All right. So the 66 books, we had to have a barometer on who's who. This is why it says that the children of Israel, in the place where it is said that ye shall not, roughly paraphrase it, in the place where it is said ye are not the children of the Most High, there ye shall be called the sons of the Most High, because they don't look like us. So it's going to be even harder to understand who the Northern Kingdom are if you don't go through the scriptures. That's why we got a lot of black-only Israelites that think that the whole nation look like us, and they don't. You look on a mass scale, you got these so-called Native Americans and Mexicans. They come into the Most High. They can't do that if they're not drawn. Do you see mass amounts of Asians, Moabites, and Ammonites? We know who they are. Do you see mass amounts of them coming? Do you see them on the corners standing with us? No. You see the so-called Latinos. You see the so-called Native Americans and their tribes doing that. You can't fake that. Understanding these scriptures, you can't fake that. Having a love for the Father, you can't fake that. They got a lot of Northern Kingdom that don't like us. All right? And I went back into that in some earlier lessons as to why the Northern and Southern Kingdom fell out. That was under King Solomon. Those same spirits hold on to that animosity without the knowledge as to why. That's why a lot of them don't like us. Fuck you, my auntie, you know. But when they've been woken up and they know who they are, hey, man, look, they family. So we can't judge one another. Look, if you're on the other side of the planet, we all look different. Some of us, we talk different. We got different customs. We can't use that as a grounds to try to judge one another. We ain't gonna have that shit. I'm telling y'all, man, look, we get to where we going, that shit ain't going down, man. And it's gonna be dealt with swiftly, all right? Quickly, all right? And it's not gonna be a good situation. We got that out here. We gotta root all of that shit out. No judgment, all right? Now, when it comes to a nigga that's disrespecting Yahushua, that's a whole different animal. He made himself manifest through his words. Let me get a precept for that. This is Matthew chapter 12. All right. Verse 34. We'll start at 34. It says, "O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things." That's for you, walk too. 36. "But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment." All right. Verse 37. "For by thy words thou shalt be made justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." So, what are you saying? What are you talking about? All right. Are you judging or are you edifying and loving? That's what you need to be worried about. All right. Because Yahushua knows who the fucking rebels are. All right. He knows who they are. He knows who the troublemakers are. He knows who the shit starters are. He knows that. And some are made manifest, and some are tares among the wheat. So it's your job to examine what your position is. All right. So I believe that this cow has been milked to capacity right now. All right. So I just want to ask you a question on the way out, and you think about it. Who's the judge? All right. Who's the judge? Are you going to be a doer of the law or a judge of the law and get your ass judged your damn self? All right. If you're going to judge somebody, you judge righteous judgment. Judge from facts and not what the fuck you think. All right. So, y'all prepare for the next lesson. Giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, all praises due. All right. Brother Matthias is out. Shalom.